guys, welcome back to my channel. uh, Before getting into this video, right, I would recommend you to check my previous video where I have explained you about the theory as well as the basic example of the polymorphism. In this video we will deep dive into the example of the polymorphism, but I would strongly recommend you to check my previous video, okay, to get the theory of the what is polymorphism, what is inheritance, okay, what is abstraction, okay. So without wasting time, let's get into the video. Thank you so much. So in continuation to this, so what we have done here is, okay, so when you add 2 comma 3, so it will call this method, okay, and when you call addition of dot add of 2 comma 3 comma 4, okay, what happens with this? So if you just try to add, or you say s out of this, one second, so if I just want to, so I'm trying to use some shortcuts here. The system out of println, you're trying to print this method, okay. What happens, we'll see. We'll execute the method and see what happens. Or control X and control V here, pasted, okay. Similarly, I'll just remove this and we'll try to copy this. So what happened? Why additional things got added here? And if you try to copy this and paste it, I just wanted to replace this method, okay. Oh, maybe a flower braces is required at the end here, and similarly one more method here, okay. So a parameter is missing here, okay. Now if you check, so I'll try to execute the method here, okay. So so if I just add here or add a parameter here, okay, what happens? Let's try to execute and check this. So when you try to execute this, so I have actually, what I have done initially, I've created an object of this additional class, okay. This, so what is this called as? This is called as uh, addition, right? So we are creating an object of addition class, right? And then now you're trying to call this method, right? So what is meant by method overriding? Sorry, method overloading. Two or more methods having the same method name. Maybe this is not closed, okay. So what is by method overloading? So two or more methods, this add method having the same method name, same the return type, but with the different parameters, okay. Here we are having two parameters. These are called as the method parameters, okay. This are called as the method parameters. Here we have two parameters, here we have three parameters. This is called as a method overloading. Overloading happens in the same class, just remember that, okay. Now if I just got added here, so if I just try to execute this, okay, so what happens? First it will try to create an object of this addition class, and then so it will try to call add method. So what happens? It will go inside this method. You have passed 2 plus 3, okay. So 2 plus 3 equals to 5, okay. It will return c equals to 5, okay. And then you say 2 comma 3 comma 4, right? So it say 2 plus 3, 2 plus 3 is 5, 5 plus 4 is 9. It will go inside this. So if you check here, now it went inside which class, which method? This method, because with two parameters, okay. and it will try to return 2 plus 3. So 5 is returned. Okay. Now if you try to pass 2 plus 3 plus 4. Okay. Now 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 plus 4 is 9. It calls which method in this case? The next method with the 3 parameters. Okay. It will try to return 9. So if you check the console, so 9 is been printed. Okay. If I just go next line, 9 has been printed. Okay. I hope this concept is clear. This is nothing but method overloading. Okay. So what is method overriding? Okay. So what is method overriding is, I think we already learned about method overriding earlier, but just to clear, okay, I'm just trying to close this. This is not getting closed. Okay. So you have seen a class called cellphone. Okay. Cellphone has a method called calling. Okay. And you have a class called smartphone. Okay. So what is happening? You are trying, so here overriding happens between two classes. It will happen using a concept called inheritance. Okay. So what are you trying to do here? You already had a class called a method. I mean, inside this cell phone class, you had a method called calling. Okay. Right. So I'll try to close all these things and it will be clear for you. Okay. I'll try to have those only, all close all tabs. Okay. I'm just closing those and I'm just opening smartphone and cell phone. Okay. So I'm just trying to bring this side. What happened? Okay. This side, smartphone, or let's close this. Okay. So it's clear. Okay. Smartphone, and we have this. Okay. So what is method overriding? Method overriding is nothing but two or more classes having the same method name, same signature. Okay. That is nothing but method overriding. So it it can be achieved using a keyword called extends. Method overriding is happens between two classes. Okay. Just remember this. Okay. Method overloading, this is, so remember the points. What do you remember the points? That this is achieved in same class. Okay. Point number one. Next, point number two is it is two or more methods having same method name with different parameters. Okay. With different parameters. That is method overloading, which we have learned using this example called, where is that example? Okay, addition. So we have learned about method overloading using an example called addition, where uh, it had two or more methods having the same method name with the different parameters. Okay. Now we are learning about method overriding. Okay. So method overriding. So if you want, I can give an example also here, so it will be more clear, right? Public, or I'll try to add three comments. So for method overloading, okay. So public void add int a comma int b. Okay, same. We've added one more parameters. Okay, so this is method overloading, which happens in the same class. Method overriding, this can be achieved using inheritance concept. Inheritance. Okay, so what do you do? It what do we need? We need two or more classes having the same method name with same signature. What do you mean by signature? That the parameters, right? So here if you check, there are no signature in sense this part. Okay, so here we don't have any. So for example, if okay, I'll tell you one thing. So if you check the method here, right? So here public void calling. Okay, smartphone is extending cell phone. Here also you're saying public void calling. Okay, so if you check, the signature is exactly matching here. Public void calling, public void calling. So if I add one more parameter here, this is not called a overriding. Okay, now if you check, this is not called as an overriding. Here you added one more parameter here. Okay, but in this class you don't have that parameter. This is not called as an overriding. Okay, if you add a parameter, then this is an overriding. So overriding is nothing but method name should match and signature should match. Signature in the sense that uh, the parameters which you are passing. Okay, it's unlike the this method overloading is parameters will change here, but in overriding everything will match. Everything should match. That's where it is called as an overriding. Okay, so here you need to pass one parameter 5 or something. Okay, that's where this is overriding. That's why if you check here, so you use an annotation. So there is something, a concept called annotation, and you use overriding annotation there. Okay, I hope this concept is clear. Method overloading and method overriding. Okay, now let's come here. So what is meant by abstraction? Abstraction focuses on what an object does rather than how it does. So we use something called abstract classes or interfaces to define the blueprint. I think I have already told you what is interface. An interface is nothing but it is a set of abstract methods. Okay. So if I take an example here, so we took an example of this mother class. Okay. So where we had interface. So where we are hiding it. Okay, so this is an interface. What is an interface? Interface is nothing but set of abstract methods. Okay, so this sun class, okay, if it is implementing this, if I don't implement this method, what we have to do is, it's what the error it says here. Check it. Error says that class sun must be declared as abstract or implement the abstract method produced in method. Okay, so either I have to declare this class as abstract, okay, or what I should do, I should implement the method. So the error has been gone. Okay, or I should implement the method here of the mother class. Okay, I hope these concepts are clear. Okay, so next we will learn a concept called constructor and, okay, this keyword. Okay, so what is mean by constructor? Let's go to this addition class. Okay, so what is meant by constructor is, okay, I'm just adding constructor. Okay, so what is meant by constructor? So a constructor is a special method, okay, which will be invoked when you create an object. Okay, I'll show you what I mean to say. It's a special method, or you just need to remove the return type. Return type is not required. Okay, so I say int a, int b. Okay, so and I'm trying to pass this parameters here. Int a comma int b. Okay, so for this we introduce a new keyword called this dot a equals to a. I'll tell you what is this keyword. This dot b equals to b. Okay, maybe it went down here. So what happened here? So what you have done here, this refers to the current class object. There is something called addition, right? Okay, so addition, this refers to the this class object. This means that this class object, this dot a is equals to a, and this dot b equals to this b. So if you check, it has given error here. So what is saying, create a constructor. So what is mean by a constructor? A constructor is nothing but it is a special method which is similar to your class name. Okay, which is similar to your class name, and which will be invoked when you create a class. So if I pass 3 comma 4, okay, which will be invoked when you create a class. Is that clear? Okay, which will be invoked when you create a class. Constructor is a, okay, I'll add the comments here. Constructor is a special method which is whose name is similar to class name, and okay, which will be invoked while creating class or creating object. Okay, I hope this is clear. Fine, this will be invoked. Okay, and we learned one more thing called this keyword. So this keyword refers to current class object. Okay, now the same thing, let's go to this mother class, or let's go to this son. Okay, so here I'll just change, I wanted to change something here, so let me do one thing. I'll just try to change this uh, father as class, okay, and this son class as, so I'll try to extend this class, and I'll try to remove this method. Okay, so okay, now if you check what, so I'll try to create, so for your thing generate, I'll just try to create a constructor, so you can achieve this using the here. If you check, so this is the default constructor. So what is meant by default constructor? Defaultly means if you don't provide it, also Java creates that. So you're not passing any parameters here. Okay, this is a default constructor. Okay, so if you go inside this father class, Here also I'm creating a constructor. So a constructor is a special method, okay, which is similar to your class name, which will be invoked while you create a class. Okay, now I'll try to execute this. System dot out dot println. This is father parent class. Okay, son system dot out dot println. This is son class. Okay, if I try to create an object, so how the execution happens, I'll try to show you. Okay, okay, and what I do is I use a keyword called super. Okay, so what this super is a special keyword which will invoke the superclass constructor. So it will try to invoke the superclass constructor, means it will try to invoke the father class constructor. Okay, so if I try to uh, public static void main. Okay, so what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to create an object of sun. Okay, s dot, I just say s. Okay, I just otherwise I just try to print an object of this. 1 second, I just try to print. What I do is, okay, otherwise I'll try to have some default method here, public void display. Okay, this will try to cover this. Okay, we'll try to, we'll say display method. Okay, so if I say yes dot display, so what happens is, so it will try to first call the, first it will come here. So what is a constructor is a special method which will be invoked when you create a object. Okay, first it will go here. So it's a super. So it will go to the parent class. Further it will call the parent class constructor. So it will try to print this parent father parent class first. Okay, that sop, I mean, this will be printed, and then current class constructor. So first what I mean to say is the execution I'm trying to show you. Okay, and then it will try to print the sun class, and then it will print the display. If you check, if I just run this, so you, what happens, I'll like try to explain you again. Okay, so the sun, what is happening here, constructor is a special method which will be invoked while you're creating a object. Okay, so if you check what happened here, first it will try constructor is called, so you used a keyword called super. It means that it will call the superclass constructor. Okay, it will go inside father class. So it will, what is there in the inside the father, okay, constructor. So what is there, you have father parent class, right? And then it will come to the current class constructor. This is son class, right? So this is printed, and then finally which method you have called, the method which you have called here is invoked. Okay, so I'm trying to explain you the flow how it goes. Fine. So you have learned something called super keyword, you have learned something called uh, okay, I'll try to show you 1 second. So you learn something called super keyword, you learn something called this keyword, okay, and you learn something called constructor. I hope this concept of this oops and all these things are clear. So, and if you like my video, please, if you follow my videos, to add uh, comments, or if you like it, so that I think you guys are understanding or not. I just like, I'll get that understanding that you're getting. If you have some questions,